Okay, so we just started recording. Laura and those that just stepped in, we just said a prayer. And if anybody has anything they'd like to add, any requests, we'd be more than happy to take that and concentrate on it. So I'm just glad to see everybody. It's a beautiful day. There is a lot going on in Solex right now, and I know that it's hard to keep up with it sometimes, especially if you're not listening to the Wednesday meetings, etc. But one of the things that they are doing, and I just wanted to briefly touch base on the business stuff happening. And then if anybody wants to go talk about that beyond, we can do it after we stop the recording. But Solex really is trying to step in and try to support us. We all ask, what do we tell people? How do we explain this? So they're bringing on 2 new employees that will be implementing their vision. What do they call them, Rita? Vision strategy. Here it says business strategy team. It's this Anton and Sophie, and they're going to help roll things out on how to share your story, what to do with the system and have better support for us. They're also every month going to implement some really fun things. In January, which is almost gone, you get a free 6-pack of alpha passes when you enroll somebody. So your new QLA and you get it. And we'll catch you up later if you don't know what that is. In February, for every new QLA or PC that signs up, you'll get a free pass to March's Day of Discovery, which includes the 20% off of the products for that week. If you already have it, then they reimburse you that money. And so both you will get it and your sign up. In March, they're going to give a free Cephi dot pack for every new QLA or PC. And so that's what they're covering so far. The other thing they're doing, like I said, I just quickly want to touch base on this stuff. It's some charts that we can roll out to you. They're just showing, different campaigns they're running. And they're, again, just in a different view, what they're giving away. The compensation plan, they talk about needing to be different levels to get to certain trips and things. And so this is in your back office, the compensation plan information. We're not going to go over it. I just want you to know it's there. So you know how to find it. And the other thing is, Rita showed me, I didn't know, is when you're logged into your back office, I should have had that logged in. Let me do that quickly. You can go under here. Well, is it office2.solex? Why is
it would be on your dashboard.
Yeah, it's on the dashboard, but it normally just pops right up. Maybe I have to go to this.
That's okay, I'll get it.
Yeah. Oh, you need our Wi-Fi, so we'll get you that in a minute.
Yeah.
Here.
So
So Rita showed me in the back office. Oh, you're fine.
no worries.
Okay. Rita showed me in the back office where we can look at our earning possibilities and see what level we are as well. So that isn't really going to matter to everybody. That's why I don't want to dive into it right now, but there are a few will, and it's kind of struggling right now. There. So that's what happens. I start getting a lot of people on my Wi-Fi and it doesn't want to do it. So we're just going to let it do its thing. Oh, here. See, just when I was about to give up on it, there it went. So Rita, the rank information. When you go to this box that says rank information, right now it's saying
what am I not seeing?
Oh, it didn't share that screen.
Right, it didn't share it on the screen.
I have to go to a different new screen. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
You bet.
Yeah. So do you see it now?
Yes.
The new screen. So this is just our back office. Right here where it says rank information, you can tell what rank you are. And then you can scroll over to see what you have to do to get to the next rank. So if that is something that you're interested in doing, that's where you can look at it and what it would take to get you there, how much you have left to get to that next rank. Like I said, not everybody's interested in that, but I just wanted to let you know it's there. So now I know to toggle over to the new screen, and the one thing we really wanted to cover today was, well, not that. I'm going to close that out. I'm like, that's done. Uh-oh, screen sharing is stopped. Let me go back to screen sharing. Okay. In a perfect world, this doesn't happen, right? I'm trying to find where it is. You know, I opened everything up to show you these things, and then that's still not it. I do want to talk about that. What I wanted to get into was my inner voice.
Hi, honey.
Oh, she's on the phone.
Oh,
You can mute all if you want.
Yeah. Can you see the body? Can you see the screen with the inner voice stuff on it or no? Ladies? No?
we see urine test strips
Okay.
that you have up there.
Okay. There, now it's that. So one of the things we wanted to do was really talk about how to look at our reports to be able to utilize them better. So many of us truly just use this system as kind of a fast tool. Like we run ourselves in the morning and we might do
Hi.
voices. I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute her. Okay.
Okay.
You know, how to do our scans, what are our, inner voice, but we look at nothing. We truly look at nothing. And that's where the magic falls. When you can start looking at patterns as you go through and you keep seeing the same thing implemented over and over and over, that is our wake-up call. We need to start paying attention to those things. And it's so fast. I think people don't do it because they think it's hard, they think it's complicated, but it's really fast. So these are all in the same day. Ideally, we want to be comparing 3 different days. But I went ahead and highlighted some of the patterns I was seeing. I'm going to move this down so I can hopefully get it larger for us to see. Can you girls see that? Can everybody see that?
I think you muted all of them.
Okay. Oh, that's okay.
No, I muted myself. That's okay.
Oh, I hit mute
Thank
at the
you.
same time then probably. So when you look at this, I have to be honest, I'm not even really good about looking at what it says at the top of my inner voice report. I just don't. I want to look at the patterns. And when you look at this, increased trace minerals, increased, hydration, meal enzymes, consider acupuncture, increased hydration, food enzymes, trace minerals, increased hydration, same thing, enzymes, chiropractic adjustment, trace minerals. Do you think it's giving me like a shake up on what I need to be doing and looking at? I am implementing those things better, but it takes a while sometimes. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm really good right now about changing all those. The one thing I haven't done consistently is a chiropractic adjustment, and I love it. It's not that I'm against the chiro, I just haven't taken that time to do it.
Time and money.
Yeah, it is. It's financial. So if you can see also, you can look at, emotions that might come up constantly, or this, parasites, this is gum stuff. And I know I have that going on. Look at your food sensitivities. So when you just look in these areas, you can see right there a lot of patterns. Now I'm going to compare this to, which will be a new report, my body systems. Now I just exported the Excel part of this because it was just too much to go through all 12 reports and highlight them. So I went ahead and kind of highlighted. Can you see the body systems, or does that need to be a new share screen? Probably, huh?
We're seeing the Excel.
Okay, good. So This is the body systems. How many of you have not done the body systems report? Has everybody done that? So it has a lot of great information as well. So these were all on the same day. And what I want you to see, I'm sorry, I didn't know it wasn't at the top here, is there again, I saw those patterns, you know, on my inner voice. Now I'm coming here. Here's exercise again, which I have been really good about, but it's, you know, body catching up to what I'm doing. Toxicity, this comes up over and over for me, tobacco, nightshades, and nicotine. How many of you know that certain vegetables have nicotine in them? Nicotinamide. Yeah, so your nightshades, your potatoes, different things like that. Eggplant. But here's stay well hydrated again. You know, here's the nightshades again.
So is that, do sweet potatoes, are they in that category too?
Don't think so. I don't think so.
I was hoping not.
Yeah, chiropractic again, enzymes again. So increase minerals again. So you can take just these few simple reports and very quickly see what patterns you're getting. Hydration again, over and over and over and over and over. So even though we might be working on those, is that my husband leaving? You know, it's telling me I still need to stay on top of it. I need to do better. And if you're not getting the right minerals, your hydration isn't going to hold. You need a certain amount of minerals for your water to even hold properly. So, you know, that's just kind of my report. Does anybody mind sharing? And Rayanne, I was going to have you share something as well. Remember you texted me and I said, do you mind sharing? I can't hear you.
She's muted.
She can yeah, I need you to unmute.
I mute myself just because my dogs sometimes bark.
you're
So,
good.
okay. Sure, I got a blood test back, but you know, I don't know. I didn't scan it actually. But anyway, I can just tell you that I had been having issues that I thought were related with my liver, possibly, which is common for me. I was having nausea and stomach pains and sticky poop. I mean, I'll just be open and honest. Sticky poop. So that was like getting to be this really weird. So I had my doctor run some labs and to direct me which way to go, because I haven't run labs on my livers for a while. I have a genetic liver thing. Anyway, turns out that my lipase, which has to do with pancreatic, which is all related, was a little bit elevated. The top number was 72, 14 to 72. Mine was 77. They had done an abdominal ultrasounds. Everything looked fine. I have, I want to see if I can share my screen. Wouldn't that be interesting, right?
Oh yeah, I may have to.
I saw something about that there, but let me go back to my
multiple
screen.
participants can share.
Okay, and I'll go back to,
Okay.
they said for the lipase on labs, whatever, it says pancreatic duct obstruction, pancreatitis, bowel obstruction, peptic ulcer disease, gallbladder inflammation, kidney disease, you know, all of those kind of things are all related. So I'm going to go to, I wonder, okay, so I wonder how I can share. How would I do that?
It would have to be on her screen.
Oh, is
Like
it
on
on
our
your screen?
computer.
Do you have it up?
I
Yeah.
have a screen with it on, yeah, but I don't know how I go to there and have you here. Yeah.
Heather sounds like a pro.
No,
So
but
full screen.
I know that if she has it on her screen and she says select screen share, it'll say, what do you want to share? And she can click on
Okay.
that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, let me do that screen share. Here we go. Okay. Now you can see, so I went ahead and when I did my AO scan,
We can't see it right
oh, you can't?
now.
Well, I did screen share. Let me go back, come back to you guys. Whoops. How do I hit?
I know, we all need to become, maybe
Oh,
I need to
well.
do one participant can share at a time.
Oh, well,
Okay, now
sorry.
I'm fine.
You can see it now?
Sharing
No,
for,
we're trying.
do you want to continue? Multiple or sharing, changing, yeah.
It says I have to sign in. I
Oh,
don't, okay. Well, anyway, the pancreatic. So what I did was I did the, I'm just gonna close out or reload. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, golly. Anyway, so back to, you guys can't see it, right?
no.
Okay. So I went ahead and I ran when I did my, like the easy scan or the vital scan. When I went to the comprehensive screen, I chose things like my kidney because I have a cyst I've had for 20, 30, whatever years. It's still there on one of my kidneys. And I ran my liver and I chose my pancreas. You know, Lisa, I don't know if you have like a picture of the everybody probably knows what the comprehensive is all about, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and the combined, and I chose pancreas. I chose all of the pancreases. I don't know what half of them mean. You guys probably know all that. But when I went through my pancreas deal, it was crazy. The hepatic duct, the pancreatic duct, the common duct, the common bile duct, you know, I mean, all of those are like off, crazy.
So
And
it paralleled what your labs were saying.
yes, absolutely. All my ducks are just kind of messed up. And I don't know what all the ducks in a row have to be, you know,
Oh,
for
your
that,
ducks
but I
in a
know
row.
but all of the liver, the pancreas, the gallbladder, it was all somehow it's related. And some of you probably know better than me for sure. But I was impressed anyway. I'm like, yes, if I saw all these red numbers for somebody else, I'd go, maybe you should get your livers checked or something, you know.
Right.
So there is right on. I don't know. That's my experience this last week.
That's crazy. Well, one of the things I wanted, did anybody want to add anything to that? No? Mom and I both have started this journey kind of at the same time of keto-ish eating, more low carb. And I've definitely been doing intermittent fasting, which I've been able to go 18 to 21 hours. So I started looking on Amazon today because I wanted to check my ketones and I wanted to make sure my sugar was okay. And I thought there's got to be an apparatus out there that does all of that, right? So I'm going to bring up this Amazon deal right here that I found. So I found this and I was like, how cool is this? You know, it shows like these pH strips that you can check your liver, you can check your kidney. Let me get back on it. You know, you dip it in your urine and you can check hydration, kidney, liver, ketones, pH, inflammation, UTI. Okay. And then all of a sudden, it's like for 6 strips, it's $50. It's expensive. But I was like, we can check all of this except for the ketones, I think, on our scanner. You know,
Mhm.
it'll tell me in my vitals. Let me bring my report up. You know, am I dehydrated? We can look at our inflammatory responses. You know, we forget that we have this tool. Like at first I was so drawn to this and I was like, wait a minute, we have this tool. Let me change to my scanner screen, which might help Rayan as well. You know, that we can look at all of that. So when I brought my vitals up, I was like, I'm going to start checking that more regularly to see if I'm on the right path. I had already told mom that my A1C wasn't showing up anymore. It used to show up, you know, and so I'm not seeing that anymore. And, you know, look at my digestion. I mean, it really is improving through all of it. Here, let me go down. You know, vegetables, blood lipid panel. I can look at my blood lipid. Am I getting on the right track? Am I not? And then, you know, we can always go to the expanded report and look at which way we're moving towards it. You know, my omegas, I still need to up those. I've been trying to increase them, but evidently I need more. but I wanted to go into like kidneys, and it's all there. It's just way down. Here's digestive function. Now look at my inflammation. It's still high. I don't need that little tool to tell me that. I don't know. I don't need to go spending extra money. It's right here,
Mhm.
and insulin resistance, that was a big deal. I kept saying I couldn't fast for years because I've been hypoglycemic since I was a little girl, truly as long as I can remember. And I'm starting to see some of that, even though it's still not exactly where I want it to be, but I see it starting to come around. Look at my pancreas, looking more balanced. My A1C is not showing anymore. So use this if you're going on a special lifestyle change, if you're going, to some big major change and you want to see how your body is responding. We have this tool in our hands to do it. We just have to remember to use it. So I just wanted to bring that down. Kidney, at first I didn't know where kidney was. Because I thought, well, maybe it does show ketones, and maybe somebody that knows more about labs would say, well, it is showing it. Here's the endocrine glands and still having cortisol issues. When you're out of whack for a long time, it's not going to line up overnight. Here's my kidney, uric acid and all of that. So, I'm able to really track that. I just don't know what part of this I don't think it shows me ketosis. So I did go ahead and order those ketone strips, but if anybody knows more about that, please let me know. But definitely keep in mind the power of this tool that we have. It's an amazing device. So
Can we get her connected here in a minute?
yeah, we're not ready to scan, but we definitely will do that. And then just a pause, one moment, please, ladies. We're getting on my Wi-Fi. Let me get her on my guest one.
I did Tuesday.
So
Lisa, question for you
yes,
then.
ma'am.
With that, I'm looking at my the vitals, liver, gallbladder function. So the pancreas one on the vitals didn't look all that bad, but the one on the liver, gallbladder was a lot with my detox
Okay.
kind of stuff. So I mean, a lot with the red detoxing and stuff. So I wonder, and then the digestive enzymes, which I know I'm getting some pancreatic ones, which
Right. And then are you
will
going
help.
are you looking at the other view, with the numerical values?
No, I can do that. I can go back
Yeah.
to that.
That
Okay.
that might help. It might show if it's
Okay.
overactive or sluggish.
I'm sorry. I wish I could share my screen with you guys. I would, but I just
We'll
had a
have to,
quick question on that. So,
yeah, we'll have to play with that. We need a
okay.
conference too.
Yeah. So digestive. Okay. Let me go back to liver. Yeah. And I'll be done here. Okay. Liver, gallbladder. Okay. So my liver, the reds were kind of ones.
Okay, which is chronic sluggish.
Chronic sluggish. That's me. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, there we go. So, all right. Okay. I'm good. Thank you for explaining that.
No, and
Okay.
it's really important to know we all have ways we like to see things. One of the things I like to do is just go to that classic view and quickly look. That's where I want to see what in range, what's out of range. And then if I want to dig further in, that's where I hop over to the enhanced view, because that enhanced view short circuits me if I look the whole way down. But then if I'm able
Yeah.
to do classic first and then hop over to it, for me, that works better. If I really want to know which side of out of range is it? Is it something that's vibrating, really high and fast, or is it, that chronic sluggish?
So the two choices are chronic sluggish, and what's the other?
Yeah, and right up here is a key code.
Okay.
So the 456 is what you want to stay with. And if you go to the 7, 8, 9, it goes into increasing inflammation. That's the higher, faster frequency. That tends to be more acute phases, more current. And if it goes to the other end, it tends to be more diminishing function. I will continue to repeat this because people always think, oh, those numbers mean I have too much or not enough of something. That's absolutely not what it means. You could have, a 1 on something, and it means, you're just overloading your body with it. Or you can have a 9 and your body's like begging for more of whatever that is. So that's not what it's saying. It's just saying when that frequency goes in, and we've always used this with our past device, the SKIO, when it goes into our system and the body assesses it, it's either like in that, oh, I'm comfortable with you zone, or, when it goes through, it's really high, excited, vibratory, or sometimes that frequency goes in and your body has been in that diminishing function for so long, it just goes, I'm ignoring you. I don't even want you to come into my body, and I'm just throwing you on the back burner. That's what I always think of with those lower ends. It's like, you are just on my back burner and I'm not even looking at you right now. So that's kind of how I like to look at it.
That's good.
Yeah. So, neither one is better or worse than the other. I actually had a discussion with somebody the other day that they said, I don't like to look at all of this code because I don't want to look at everything that's wrong with my body. Or I want to say they even put it a little sterner than that. And I said, you're not looking at what's wrong. We're looking at what is our body responding to and what it's not. There's not, oh, it was bad. The word was bad. So there's not a good or bad. It's just, what is our body functioning at? What is it saying right now? There is no good or bad. The other thing that we read, I think you and I talked about this a little, is how this is similar to a lab, and people don't stop to think about this, except I had this discussion with a woman that does do phlebotomy. And when a lab is taken, the actual physical blood, it is still a snapshot of what is happening at that very second. You could take it 10 minutes later and take it to the same lab, and it could look different on some of those levels. It's the same thing with this scanner. This scanner is a snapshot of what is happening frequency wise that very second in your body. Because people always say, well, I run it, and if I run it again, it's completely different. We don't have stagnant bodies. Our bodies go with this ebb and flow, and it's what is our, our emotional states, even though I think consciously we're not aware of it, can change from second to second. And our guts and our digestion and our breathing, and we could walk across the room and come across EMFs that I wasn't around when I was, on the other side of the house. So we are in a constant state of change, and that's why it's so important to look at the patterns. What is not changing, what is always looking the same, because that's when we have to start assessing. Mom and I both have been coming up with mold. I've been coming up with black mold.
Yep.
Bob hasn't. So I keep thinking it can't be, it's got to be something that is
And you were
specific
exposed to.
to me. Now, could it have been something that happened, a while back? Absolutely. And it's just working its way out. It could. But whatever it is, I'm seeing this pattern of black mold.
And if it's both of you, it could have been a time you lived together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Contaminating.
So,
It's
look
all-
at those patterns. Is there anything that anybody else is seeing or has questions on with that?
I have a question.
Sure.
You said your cortisol is always off. So is mine. How do we fix
Stress. Well, I always go back to Dr. G, that gargle loud and proud, humming, dry gargling, singing, anything that vibrates that sympathetic nervous system, meditation, learning box breathing. There's all the different kinds of things to calm that. And so, I just need to get better at sitting down and doing it. And that is part of what the inner voice is nice about. If you can look at the emotions that are popping up all the time. I'm going to copy your coughing. And there's techniques. I want to learn better, but you can, like, say anger is coming up, you can replace that with, I am free, I experience joy, whatever. So when you're listening to that music, you can get into this meditative state and redirect that. I can tell you I'm not good about that either. I do go to sleep with my music on, and it definitely makes a difference in how I sleep and how I feel. But there again, I'm not looking at my report when I should. I should at least be looking for the pattern, even the emotional patterns.
So when you are playing the music, it's obviously not headphones, just playing loud.
No, it
enough to
is.
hear
I always have my lightning cord.
Oh,
When you play your inner voice, you always want a headset on because there's frequencies that the brain can catch, but the ears don't hear.
I do use headset, but I mean, not headset, the thing, but mine have a cord, so I couldn't sleep in them.
Mine has a cord too.
You won't sleep in them?
I fall asleep and then when I wake up, I throw it to the side.
Okay. Good.
And that's really better for you. I know a lot of people use the Bluetooth, which is not ideal or optimal. We're trying to protect our brains, and I do try to throw my phone to a further side. I know some people don't even have it in the room with them. I'm afraid to do that. It's the only phone we have, and if something happened to mom or any of the family,
Right.
I wouldn't hear it. So I just try to move it as far away from my head as I can, but I do have a lightning cord on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know, Lisa,
Yes, ma'am.
when I hadn't looked at my reports for a while either, and I've been doing some trauma brain work, whatever, on the side as well as my AO scans every day. And I've started looking at my inner voice reports again recently. Before, when I would read them, I'm like, okay, well, I can pick out one or two things that I could relate to, either positive or negative, whichever. But now, and it's been months since I've really studied the inner voice reports, and now I can look at these and go, I am functioning more in my positive modes, and all these other things are not dragging me down like they used to. But it's funny because doesn't matter, my daily thing changes every day, and someday I'm triggered by things, like all of us. And the first three are kind of what are pretty obvious, like what I'm really upset with.
They're the
Huh?
highest. They're on the high out of range area. So
And then the lower one, I look at the fourth one, I always look at the shadow one that's holding me down, or that's the lower one that's kind of hidden. I don't want to pay attention to it, whatever. That's the story I tell myself about it. Because I heard somebody say that. I don't know if it was Deborah Bruce or whomever, but and I find that the thing that sometimes I like, oh my goodness, this is what's really keeping me stuck. And I'm able to use those reports more. So the longer, I guess what I'm trying to say, the longer that we're doing them, consistently, and I'm finding that they're speaking to me greatly.
That's awesome.
I'm able to use them to heal my daily moods.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I think it was Lauren that was talking about that the most, like, if you're just going to look at one, to look at that fourth one, because that, like you said, the anchor one, that was a great way to put it, because that is the one that has been on that back burner, that we've wanted to ignore. And so that is a really powerful one to look at. The other thing I always say to people with those inner voices, because I've had, as I'm sure you've all had, you look at them and you think, well, I don't think any of those belong to me, or this one doesn't look like it belongs to me. And I know I've said this in other meetings without fail when I say, but who are you around that could belong to? And without fail, everybody is able to bring that person up. And it's like, it may not directly belong to you, but you're letting it impact you. So you're letting that come into the space. So, another thing I think we should all get better at, there again, boy, oh, howdy, I'm here to tell you, I'm not good about doing it, is on our quick scan, we have this clearing and shielding area. So when you're around a group of people, or you're going to be around somebody, clear yourself and shield yourself. You can also find that in the Cephi area. And when you go there, is that where it's at, Cephi? Oh, here. Energetic clearing and energetic shield. You can imprint your jewelry with it. You can imprint your bracelet. So we all have to be better stewards of taking care of ourselves. We have this device, and I don't remember to do this either. I really don't. But it's a good thing to do. We've all, worked with clients or different people that really just pull our energy down, and sometimes we do. We just need to protect ourselves with that. If you have the shoe, the Cybin, what am I trying to think of? The insert, yeah, that goes in the shoe. That's a great thing to scan and do that with. So our bracelets, we all think most all of us have these bracelets, and we can shield those. The other thing I've done is in spaces and objects. So under a name where there's spaces and objects, if you're going to go to a workshop, or you're going to be in a big arena, you can put that in, and you can run that whole area in the Cephi, when you're going to be there. Let's say you're going to a game which has 1 billion people around you. I don't know why it's not coming up, but it's not. So you can add, let's say, oh, here. When we went to Utah, I added our camping trip. There was a lot of negative, energetic people there, and I just pretty much knew it would drain me. So I put that in as a space and object. And then when I go to my Cephi, when I want to do that clear and shield, or I want to run a playlist, I can drop that down. It's going to take in a minute as my target, and I can run it for the whole area. It's not coming down yet, but it will. I've got just enough people in my Wi-Fi that it's taking longer. So that's what's fun about this. Sometimes I think we forget how creative we can be, and that's what makes it fun. If you're in a workspace, here, camping trips, so I can just put the camping group, I can drop down, that energetic clear. I'm not going to hit to imprint it because it'll make a noise, and then I can shield the whole group. We all have worked in offices with people that just so you can put your office in. But I guess that's what I'd like to really encourage everybody to do, is to look at their patterns, to have fun with this. It is so much fun. We just forget how fun it is. We can make these incredible homeopathics now, and there's just so many of them that we can do. So, I know last time we talked about what are some of the creative, fun things we've done, but does anybody want to share something fun or creative they've done?
I have a question about
Sure.
the homeopathic. So I think that's the last time I was here. I learned how to make them.
Oh, and it's changed so much since then, Heather.
Okay. Well, I'm still making them, just using the liquid. And then I generally only take it once a day.
Okay.
Is that enough? Should I be taking it more often? I don't know.
You can. It's specific to what if it's like, feeling good, if it, adrenal, I would definitely be using it more in that area now. In the Cephi, you can now go to, and I know this is repetitive for some of us.
Well, then why don't you wait till the end and show me? Because she did show me like how to do the stuffy dots.
Oh, no, yeah, this is a little different, and we're recording it, so people might see it that, oops, I just went to the wrong, yeah, that might need to have it. So in the quantum homeopathics, there's now this area by symptom. So let's say I'm going to put in fatigue because that's a big one. Oh, here's adrenal fatigue, burnout.
And you're in quantum homeopathic?
I am.
Okay.
So when it comes up, do you now see this scan button right here?
Mhm.
You scan and it prioritizes which are the best for you at that moment.
Yeah.
You can do them all. So you can do individual or simultaneous. They also have added erase buttons in a lot of the areas now.
Nice.
And then you can imprint them all, or you can just imprint one. The other nice thing about this is if you're going to do a playlist, you can look at what came up as your highest. For me right now, it's phosphorus. And then you can add that to your playlist so you know which ones might be the best for you to do. So if I was doing this for adrenal, which I should be, thank you for that reminder. I probably would want to do that several times a day. If you're doing homeopathics, you want to make sure it's not near coffee. Like you don't want to drink coffee and then do them. You don't want to do peppermint or very strong oils because it will negate the homeopathic properties. And you want to keep it away from your computers, your cell phones. So if it's something you've made, I would go ahead and wrap it with foil and stick it to the side. If you're going to travel with it or keep it in your purse, you know, wrap it and protect it. But, you know, I think if you're familiar with muscle testing, you can muscle test yourself and see if you need it again at that moment. You know, and I would just do some of those things. Does anybody else have any ideas on that?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Any more questions on that?
It's just a wonderful section to have because
Mm-hmm.
like we have migraines several places, plus I have a playlist
Mm-hmm.
from the very beginning because they didn't have migraines. But
Right.
this homeopathic migraine by symptom,
Mm-hmm.
that thing is powerful with all the homeopathics. I ran that on my granddaughter who
Oh,
had a
no,
relapse of
yeah.
COVID a couple of weeks ago, and she'd had a screaming headache all along with it.
Headache, migraines.
And that night was the first time she hadn't had a headache.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's very powerful.
Yeah. So yeah, I just put the migraine in and it does. It has a nice list of
It's a beautiful list.
things. And I think it does add the no-sodes and cell salts. I have put on our Facebook page.
One of the things that I do with the homeopathic is
Oh, we lost you, Laura.
one of the things that I do with the homeopathic is I look up, I have idiopathic tremors. So I look up under symptoms, tremors, and 5 or 6 of them come up, and then I program it into the Cephi dot.
Oh,
I
great. Thank
I
you.
imprint the Cephi dot with the homeopathic remedies, all of them, just simultaneous. And so I'm wearing them all the time.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
great. And the nice thing with the Cephi dots is they're supposed to drive deeper into the system. So it's probably a more direct way of getting them in. That's wonderful. Yeah, I think that's something else we don't take advantage enough. I don't, is the Cephi dots. So that's great information. Very good.
What kind of tremors does she have?
What'd you call them? The tremors?
Idiopathic, that's
Idiopathic. You don't know.
medical talk for we don't know what causes it.
I was gonna say they.
Because I've got 2 people with tremors.
Mm-hmm.
This is wonderful information.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Laura, do you place those, do you place the Cephi dot in a particular location when you're doing that?
Yes, but see, I've loaded, I'll tell you all about my Cephi dot. I load pain and perfect body from the Cephi dot menu because I had some hip pain. And then on top of that, I load these homeopathic. So it's all in one Cephi dot, and I place it right here in my left hand, which is where it shows to put it for pain.
okay.
And the other reason I do that is that sometimes people say to me, "Oh, what's that?" Because it's visible. And so I can say, well, it's a little battery for frequencies. And it opens a conversation.
Oh, golly. Isn't
Very
that
good.
smart? That's really smart. I love that. You know, the Steffi dots, they truly are fun. It's
They are fun.
forget to use them. I think on one of the weekly calls, they alluded sort of, I wasn't sure if that's what they were saying, but you know, that we could do our scans with it on, like we can actually do our entire scan and balance on the Steffi dot. But I
The other
never,
thing you can do is you can reprogram it while you're wearing it. You can put it up to the device and
yes.
press erase and then put something else in it. I don't do that because I haven't figured out what it is that I need to be wearing. But I should, if I were going to program it for sleep, for example, then I
Uh-huh.
could get up in the morning and erase that and program it for energy.
Oh, wow. That's
And
great.
you could put it in a generic place.
Mhm.
One of the generic places is on the outside of the left wrist.
Mhm. Okay.
That's where Lauren wears his.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes I put so much in, I'm like, where should I put it? It's just- yeah, that's really good. Great, thank you. Anybody else? Questions or comments? We're a quiet group. All right. I'm gonna go back here. While I've got it on the main screen, if anybody has any questions on any of the main screens or something they haven't utilized.
What's the TMJ all about?
Oh, well, that's not opened up yet. We have to do the
Oh.
third training for that.
Okay, that's why it's grayed out.
It is. So once you do that phase 3 training, it's 100% of everything that's on the big scanner, the
Oh, wow.
38,000. So I have done the phase 2. Laura, have you done the phase 2
No,
training? So I have done that. And when you open up the comprehensive, you guys will see this on yours. It just won't work yet, this database. But since I've taken the training, it opens up a whole nother area of things to look at.
Wow.
So
there's a way in which that really scares me.
it scares you.
Yeah, look at all that information.
I
Oh my
know.
God.
So what it is it's 13 categories that it consistently scans against. And when you look at it, like right now is blood cells, and I can drop down and look at any of these things. So I'm just going to look at, oh, let me look at pancreas since we were kind of on that line. So when I look at bacteria, when it says hits, nothing came up against it. So there were no hits. For a brain spine connection, it came up with osteopenia, which I have been seeing a pattern of that, by the way, and back strain. Now it has the status as a low cause. That doesn't mean it's not very important. It means that it's in that chronic low end. Then it comes up and tells me how close to that chronic low end is it. It's 97%. So it's almost like the 1. And then it tells me how long has that frequency been out bouncing around my brain, and it's 5 years or more. When it says 5 years, that can actually go all the way back to gestation. So then the next one, paraffin, isn't that funny? Paraffin wax, paraffin, low cause, 69%, 2 years since I've been married. Like, have I been dipping my finger in paraffin wax? I don't know.
You did a lot of candles when you got married.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Now look at our emotions, and this is why it's so important to address those emotions. 12 hits on the emotions with that. Discipline, conflict. Oh, I always thought I was disciplined. 5 years, 92% high cause shock, culture conflict, sexual pleasure, social conflict twice. Suppressed feelings, uncertain about love, lust, hardness, sexual conflict. I need to talk to my husband about this one. Creative conflict, painful feelings. So, it tells how long all of that's been going on. And then it goes into food sensitivities, 3 hits. Peanut oil, brown rice, pork, which I don't do well with pork. Nothing with heavy metals, nothing with hormones, nothing with insect bites. Oh, wow. Nothing with miasms, which those are inherited. They tend to be inherited. Nothing with mold fungus. I don't think I've ever seen one quite this clean. Nothing with parasites, toxicity, viruses. So it is showing 3 viruses.
It's
That-
interesting that you're hitting black mold somewhere else, but not here.
Not, it's not in that particular thing. So
Oh, and
in pancreas. So, you know, would
Oh,
it be in my
lungs?
blood cell or lungs or, oh yeah, I should look at lungs, right? So, you know, you get in here, it just gives you another place to dig around and kind
so
of assess.
we go to the back office and train on it, then it'll open up for us.
Yeah, so you have to do phase 1, which I think is $97 or $99. Does anybody know the price on that? For 90 something, close to 100. And then the next one is, I think, 197.
Oh, sorry.
Phase
this-
1, I think, is 149.
Oh, 149. And then phase
Mhm.
3 is almost around the 500, right? Which is probably why I haven't done it yet. But there you go.
Okay.
So, and I have to tell you, and I think, you know, I've said this to some of you I've talked to, I really enjoyed that training. Like phase 2, really, it made dots connect that I hadn't realized before, you know, because they talked about how everything that's programmed in it, like it's got to go through the skin and blood and bones and the cells, and how when anything's out of range in any part of that as it's getting to a particular organ or something, that, you know, it might stop in that area and get sluggish, and how it assesses all that. So it made this incredible piece of equipment even more incredible, you know, when you look at everything they put into it. So I would highly encourage you guys to do that training. I absolutely loved it. I thought phase 1 was good. I enjoyed it, but I absolutely love phase 2. You know, so it depends on what kind of learner you are. I love all the detail. So that's probably why I need to go back to and finish phase 3. But
Hey,
that's what I-
Lisa.
yes, ma'am.
So question on what we just went through. So that was called, where did you get that? I know we have to do the phase 2, but where
Yeah.
did it come out of?
It's in the comprehensive.
Comprehensive. Okay.
So when you open up the comprehensive, you will see this on yours.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It just won't.
And
do
then,
anything.
okay. And then it hits against all of those categories. And then you just choose the category and see
Mhm.
what's affecting that category,
Yeah.
basically, is
So
what you
what's-
showed us. Okay.
Right. And what's nice about this, like the body systems, like the vitals, I do want to hit on this a little bit, is we can pick and choose what we scan. So if you want to find out your food sensitivities, because they change throughout the day like everything. I'm in my vitals. You can deselect all, just hit food sensitivities. I'm going to scan right now. It's so fast. And optimize. I'm going to go out to eat at a restaurant. I need to know what I have to stay away from or what I can eat. See, it's already scanned. It's going to optimize. And then I'm going to have my list like that of what is safe for me to eat, which is really wonderful. So I'm just going to go over here to my classic report.
How much for you does it change from, say, first thing in the morning until you go out for dinner? Is there usually some big changes or not too
You
big?
know, yeah, I have seen big changes. Like it'll say at one part in the morning and can't do eggs, and by the time the evening comes around, I can.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there again, it's what's your emotional state. Have you run across something that reminded you of somebody that you had a romantic dinner with? That you know,
Right?
I mean, truly, you know, that tripped you. So
Or traumatic.
yeah. So you know, right now,
But
avocado.
also,
Yes, ma'am.
there's also the opportunity to re-optimize within, you know, a short amount of time. So if you have, like, Lisa had pointed that out to me one time when we had done, we had talked about done the vitals and optimized, but then, you know, maybe half an hour later, you can re-optimize again and you see improvements even
Right.
further.
You can. It's kind of a cheat,
Mhm.
but you can. So
Yeah,
you
you can.
you can choose any of those categories, and the same thing. Now, if you've done the easy scan, it's going to automatically, you know, do whatever. But if you want to look at things specifically, like I'm wanting to keep tabs on the inflammation or, whatever, I can go into the comprehensive. I can do the same thing. I can deselect anything that's chosen. I can go right into my lymphatic or my muscles, my nerves, my arms. And that would be important to do. Let me do my organs because I have that database, I can really drill down into that one specific area without it being so overwhelming. So I can just really look at what I want to look at, and then I can cross-reference it with the body system. So I can deselect on the body system. I can just go right into, whatever bodies, the endocrine is probably what I would do if I'm looking at the organs. I can just scan and optimize that, and I can look at, let me do that right now. I can look at, oh, sorry, that one's got volume. So I can go right into that, and I can just really hone in on connecting those dots. Let me turn this down. Oh, I'll just mute it till it's done, but then it's going to mute me. Oh, there. Okay. It didn't let me optimize it. That's okay. It just went into my endocrine report. It's funny, I didn't. Let me go back and see if it lets me optimize it. Oh, that's right. Never mind. It scans and optimizes
It does the
at the same time.
same thing, right.
I know. Which one am I in?
I know.
Yeah.
So, this lets me look at this. I'm like the worst for wanting to look at everything, but then I get overloaded.
Right.
It's like when you go into a store that just has tables of sale stuff and people have dug through it and it's got piles. I just walk away. I don't even want to deal with it, but if it's in nice, clean little areas. So if we can start just really concentrate, if it's our brain we want to start with, whatever, just really concentrate on that. This is showing some endocrine stuff here, emotional stuff to that. Avoid sugar, which I've done for I think 5.5 weeks now. Consider adrenal and thyroid support. It just helps us take care of the body in littler pieces than if we're like, I'm on overload, I'm looking at all of it. You don't have to look at all of it.
You make
Hey,
yourself-
Lisa, what do you say to somebody who says, okay, I'm having visual problems, and then what she does is she goes out and looks at her report on the eye. So like the body, no, not the body, the comprehensive. She looks at goes out and looks at the eye, and then she looks at all the little names of whatever it points to, all of the parts of the eye. And she goes, I think I'm going to tell my eye doctor that it's this whatever thing. And I'm thinking, I don't know that we can really do that, can we?
No, for that's diagnosing again. So I guess, is she seeing it as a pattern? Is she seeing those areas? That's where it would be good for her to track. If she's seeing those over and over. And there again, I got an Excel report from this when you email it. So have her look at that, on top of it, I'd have her look at her brain, because a lot of times, the eye can also be part of the like sensory motor strip in the brain. It can be other areas. So I pull those two things out. I would have strong patterns before I brought it to an eye doctor.
Yeah.
And say, this is something that's never changing frequency wise. Can you look at it? Because we're not diagnosing, but there again, if that pattern never moves, it's an indicator to look at.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's hard for people to get that concept, even when you know it.
Diagnose.
Even like the food sensitivities, when something comes up, how many people go, I don't eat that. It's like, well, it's not saying you eat it. It's just saying it wouldn't be a great food for you if you did, that frequency. So I know I have a lot of fish come up, and I don't do well with fish. You're probably the same way.
I don't
Seafood.
do any fish, but they come up a lot. And
Yes.
so I know I shouldn't do fish.
Right.
And I've been real regular about coming up with licorice root. Well, I know I have problems with licorice root.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And yeah, so sometimes it's nice to have it just as a validation when you don't feel good when you've eaten something, or you're just so opposed to something, or on the other end, you're so addicted. I've seen it come up bad when it's like an addiction for you. So, it's not, there again, not diagnostic. It's just that frequency isn't good for your body. And since we're vibrational beings, we need to pay attention to that.
yeah, flashing frequencies.
Yeah. Anything else, ladies? Anything to add?
No?
No, but this has been very helpful.
Oh, thank you. And, Rita and I talked about if anybody really wants to start more on the business end, which I would like, and I know Rita, you would, we need to have a separate business meeting, even if we don't come together physically, we can do it as a Zoom. So we can talk about ways to kind of at least pay for a scanner and then some, right?
Right.
How we move up
Yeah.
the ladder. Because one of the questions I had was, how do we keep people from dropping out? It's such an amazing device. I think part of that is inspiring each other with our stories, and like Laura shared with the Steffi dots, and Heather shared with the homeopathic. How do we keep inspiring each other, and how do we get that person to understand that's just using it? I'm gonna wait just a second.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just recording, so it's hard over the. So how do we get that person that's ready to dump it because it's too expensive? They're not seeing the value in it. I think it just takes sharing it with 3 people, and you've paid for your device. Your monthly fee. So, we'll do a business meeting. I don't know what nights are the best for everybody, but we'll kind of figure that out if anybody wants to get into that part of it. Just know this company keeps doing stuff for us, and I think it's exciting.
Well, I'm
Anybody-
excited. Thanks for including me.
Oh gosh, thanks for hopping on. It's great to see you. It's been like a year and a half.
A year and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, everybody looks good, and thank you, ladies.
Thank you,
Bye,
Lisa.
everybody.
Good to see you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So how many people are doing this as a business, Lisa? Like of the people who were here today?